So after 5 years of being an affiliate, 1 year as a novitiate,
Postulate,
excuse me, and then 2 years of a novitiate. Then you're ready to take your vows.
Right, I was.
Okay, so tell me about that. What was it like, you know, leading up to taking your vows?
My first vows, that one of the sisters told me one thing that I remember until now, that usually first vow, annual vow we call, that we can renew every year.
Okay.
But the sister said that Symphonie, remember one thing, that the decision you make to make your first vows, think of that your final vows. Think that way.
Treat your first annual vow as if it were the final one. That's it.
The reason was that, it's dangerous to think, I just make my first vow now and then maybe or maybe not I continue, or I just wait what's gonna happen before my final vows. She said, no, think it carefully. It's good for you to think it now. It's good for discern later, but it's good to make the decision, make up your mind now. That's it. You make your first vow as your final vows. So I put that in my retreat, put that thinking in my retreat and thought it very well. And I felt peace at that decision. I know things can change and things might change. But at that moment, I felt like I made a good decision. And I was at peace with that decision.
And so you made your first vows, and you said that it's an annual thing. So at this point, you're a full-fledged nun already, or not yet?
Not yet.
What happens? What are the other steps?
So, you would call it what do you explain the full-fledged nun?
I mean, like you're 100% in, like you're, you know.
It's tricky. In your professor sisters are a sister, a religious sister, a nun, and fully a nun. Yes. And we had 3 vows, like other nuns.
Okay.
However, that only until your final vows that you completely belong to the congregation.
Okay, there you go. So you said 3 vows? What are the 3 vows?
The 3 vows is chastity, poverty, and obedience.
Okay, so you don't have to take them all at the same time.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, you do? Okay, so you said your first vows were...
So that's why the vows has S afterward.
Okay, yes.
So the first vows is the first time that you make your vows.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now I understand. Okay, I thought it was like you take them one at a time, or
so
you kind of ease into it or something. No, okay, so that's what you mean.
Clearer to say the first professions of vows.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
Yes.
So how long ago was that you?
So I made my first vows on August 13, 2016.
Is there a ceremony?
It was a ceremony.
Was your family there?
That's one of the unfortunate one that my parents couldn't come. The embassy didn't approve the visa.
Oh no,
for them.
That's terrible.
I know.
But normally families are there,
right? But my siblings and other friends and family, we're allowed to have 50 people.
Oh,
there.
That's nice. How many of you took your vows together? Was it just you?
Two of us. So I have my companion.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we 2 families together. So it was beautiful.
Was that in St. Louis?
Here
in Houston.
In Houston.
Okay, so you came back here to Houston,
right,
to take your vows.
Because our mother house here in Houston.
Okay.
Yeah, our base here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so your family was there. Did some of your friends from college also show up? And
I don't have college. I mean, did I? No, I have the band that I help in St. Christopher Parish. So they were there. And college friend, I'm not sure about that. I think all families,
mostly family.
Mostly family because we have limited guests. So it was hard to have others people.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then at this point, after you take your vows, what happens next?
So I made my vows, and a few days later, I moved to Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Okay.
And I became a substitute teacher because I have to find the ministry there.
Okay. Was that your decision, or was it?
I was assigned.
You were
there.
assigned to go to Louisiana.
Right. We have the community there in Lake Charles. There was a sister there, so I joined her as a community.
Okay.
And my duty at that time is to look for ministry. So at first, I became a substitute music teacher.
Okay.
And I worked at St. Margaret Catholic School. And it was hard because I graduated University of Houston and then moved to formation. And then when the sister asked me to write my CV, my resume, I was so intimidated because I said I had zero experience. And
just college.
And I said, what should I write? Because my page is like mostly empty of my experience. And I hesitated to even give that CV to the school, so everywhere I go. So it was challenge at that time. And I remember one time that on the way back to Houston, driving for the meeting, I saw the billboards that God listen, something like that. And I just shouted in my car. I said, God, if it's not for you, I'm not going to be here anymore. It's just like the pressure and everything. It's just like, oh, I cannot handle that anymore because I want to help. I have the desire to serve, but why? I couldn't find any job and I didn't feel like I competent enough to get
because of
ministry.
Your lack of experience.
And also, Lake Charles is a small community.
So there are not a lot of jobs.
And everyone's there. They are there. They don't move.
That's that's true.
So they stay there.
Not many openings.
No. And the moment of the opening, the sister, the relatives will get to know before anyone else. So that's the tricky point.
So eventually, how long were you there in St. Charles?
For a year. And I did the interview in St. Teresa Catholic School in Memorial Park. Okay. So I got the job there, the part-time job, and I was asked the permission to move back to Houston. And the sister allowed me to be back here. And I worked at St. Teresa for 3 years.
3 years. And what were you doing there?
I was a music teacher.
It's great that you're able to use your skill in music,
Yes.
as part of your work as a religious sister. So you were there for 3 years teaching. And how old were the kids that you were teaching?
The school is pre-K 3 to 8th grade.
Okay.
So at first, the first semester before Christmas break, I was hired as a part-time music teacher. So I only take care of the pre-K 3 to 5th grade to teach the music. And the second semester that the religion teacher left. So the principal asked me, sister, is it possible if you can teach religion for the junior high? I said, I can, but I'm not sure about the schedule. Okay. So they helped me a lot, but majority of the teachers there, they said, sister, you have yourself in trouble because that's a very heavy schedule. And I didn't know how I survived.
Teaching 2 different subjects at the same time. Yes.
And it's just totally, but I managed it, but I wouldn't do it again.
Yeah, it's a very heavy schedule.
It was heavy. I was so stressed at that time to try to, I'm not strong in teaching middle school. That's not my strength.
Oh, middle school is very challenging. It takes a different kind of person to teach middle school. I've substituted in middle school, and I think there was one time I said, okay, I'm never going back here to substitute for middle school. It's very different. It's extremely different from you would think because of the age it would be similar to elementary or high school, but no, middle school is just something in and of itself, just very different. So how long were you there?
For 3 years.
For 3 years, and then after that, what brought you away from that?
So go back a little bit because I teach religion.
Yes.
For middle school, that I grew in love with the middle schoolers.
Oh, really?
For true, that surprised me a lot because I used to be scared of teaching them because I didn't understand them actually. But for some reason, that these kids, they're amazing.
Okay.
And the year after, the principal hired a religion teacher, and they asked me to be a full-time music teacher, which is I will take the middle school as my students as well to teach them music.
Okay, so not just elementary, but middle school too.
And music. They didn't have the experience of music much before.
Oh, wow, that's hard.
But I tried to be as creative as I could be to develop different things with them and things like that. And I was glad it was helpful and they drew into it. So I taught there 2 years for like as a full-time music teacher. After that, in May 2020, 2020, that I was asked to go back to St. Louis to finish my degree in theology. So that's why I left the school.